tungkol dun sa nangyari nung nakaraang Mayo, akala namin mas mai-improve na yung sistema, lalo-lalo na yung sistema sa BFP. And yet, here we are again, talking about the same issue, and mas marami pa yung mga fatalities. Kaya mas nakakalungkot na parang nabaliwala yung pag-iimbestiga namin dati at ngayon mag-iimbestiga na naman tayo. But hopefully, pagkatapos nito mas lalong mapaayos na at lalong ma-improve na. Hindi lang yung sistema ng BFP, kundi yung sistema ng iba't ibang mga departamento na involved dito sa ating city government. So, kung meron pa po bang update? I yield first to Councilor Alfred Vargas.
Councilor Alfred Vargas.
Thank you very much, Mr. Presiding Officer. Gusto ko lang po susugan kung sinabi ko ni Majority Floor Leader natin. Lahat po naman ang nagsalita kanina. And fully supported po tayo sa kay Councilor Vic Bernardo and kay Councilor Banjo Pilar. As chairman po ng Committee on Infrastructure and chairman din po ng Blue Ribbon Committee, akin din po sanang request na mapasama po ang ating mga committees dahil sa tingin ko po malaking posibilidad na makatulong din po ang mga committees na ito dito po sa usapin ito, lalo na po nung binanggit po ni Majority Floor Leader na after 3 months parang kinakailangan pa rin ng mas mabilis na action. Yun lamang po, ginoong tagapamahala, sana po masama ang Committee on Infrastructure at saka ang Committee on Blue Ribbon. Salamat po.
Thank you very much, Councilor Alfred Vargas. Councilor Dore.
Yes, thank you. If there are no any other councilor who would like to make a manifestation, Mr. Presiding Officer, I move that we conduct a hearing on Wednesday at 1:00 p.m. And I move that we refer the said legislative inquiry in aid of legislation to the following committees: Committee on Public Order and Security, Committee on Laws, Committee on Disaster, Committee on City Planning, Committee on Trade, Committee on Barangay Affairs, Committee on Infrastructure, Committee on Blue Ribbon, and Committee on Subdivision, with the Committee on Public Order and Safety being the lead committee regarding this hearing. So again, I would like to reiterate the schedule for the inquiry, and the hearing will be on Wednesday, September 6 at 1:00 p.m. here at the session.
Duly noted, Councilor Dore Galarmente.
Wala ng picture.
Privilege hour.
Yes, I move to terminate with the privilege hour.
Privilege hour is terminated. Thank you very much again, Councilor Vic Bernardo and Councilor Banjo Pilar. Before we proceed, guys, it is an honor and our privilege also to have a visitor today.
Sa mga pamilya na nawalan po ng buhay, nawalan ng manina sa buhay. And I pray and I hope that the ordinance that I'm lobbying for and is currently in the process of committee hearings will be supported, especially for the safety of our citizens, Mr. Presiding Officer. And I also believe that most or some of the barangays allow a one-side parking policy along roads, and especially overlooks those streets and roads in a residential area po. Gaya nga nasabi ko, Mr. Presiding Officer, being the head of committee chairman po ng subdivision along with Vice Chairman Banjo Pilar po, situations like fire, earthquake, and other calamities must now be seen as something that can happen any day, at any time, and so successful emergency response should be what comes first. One of the big factors of delay is the parking situation at the residential areas. So, Mr. Presiding Officer, binibigay ko po ang 101 full support ko po kay Councilor Victor Bernardo at kay Councilor Banjo Pilar. At hindi lang po ito laban ng Distrito 6, kundi po laban po ito ng buong lungsod Quezon. Nakasuporta po ako. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you very much, Councilor Aiko Melendez. As I corrected kanina, thank you, Councilor Banjo Pilar, dun sa message mo and for dedicating that to our victims, the citizens. Thank you very much, Councilor Aiko Melendez, for your manifestation. We strongly support that. Councilor Joseph Wigo is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. First and foremost, I fully support the privilege hour given and what our two colleagues from Councilor Bernard and Councilor Pilar talked about with regards the two different fire incidences that happened in the respective districts. I am in full support also of the investigation that the City Council will be doing in aid of legislation, because there are certain questions that need to be answered, such as when they mentioned the Councilor Bernardo ng mga kalye, we would like to know if these roads are city-owned or privately owned. Because if it is city-owned, why are they gated? Not unless they have been transferred to the homeowners under their care. So those things have to be considered. And if we can also ask task force street clearing to be part of the investigation to shed light. And if they also have a list of streets na may ganito mga problema para sa ganun ma-address natin, because we cannot be doing this as a knee-jerk reaction. Dahil nangyari na, doon natin gagawin. We should do this as a preventive measure para moving forward, wala nang mangyaring ganito. With regard to the privileged speech done by Councilor Pilar, medyo meron din akong katanungan na sana masagot din. Pag nagbibigay tayo ng business permit, nagtataka ako, as what was mentioned by Councilor Pilar, meron tayong binibigay na 1 year na conditional approval of 1 year as long as they can get a fire safety permit. Ako personally, I find the 1 year too long. You know, so not unless there are certain rules, parameters, legislation that have to be done para iksian yung puwang na yun na napakatagal for them to get that clearance. Because as was shown earlier, August of last month, 2023, na-issue sila ng business permit. And yet they have 1 year to comply for the fire safety permit. Kung pumunta na kagad doon, kunyari, iksian natin yung regulation on obtaining the fire safety permit sa mga ilang araw, then there's also a possibility na makikita na kagad ng ating mga bombero na fire hazard din naman yung lugar. So those things have to be tackled and talked about para tayo sa City Council. If legislation is needed, we file the necessary legislation to prevent and end up saving lives. Yun lang po. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councilor Joseph Wico. We strongly support that and thank you for your manifestation. Councilor Erin Belmonte.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Just to inform this August body that the said business po ay first wala po silang exemption because what they applied is can be categorized as a home industry, which is as under our zoning ordinance in section 13. It is one of the allowable uses in the R1. So in this zone po ay nasa R3 po siya, hence allowable po siya, kaya po nakapag-conduct yung business lang without securing a certificate of exemption. Now, may addition na lang po ako at ito po yung napakagandang pagkakataon po na magkaroon tayo ng investigative committee para sa nangyari nga po. Kasama palad, kailangan po natin magkaroon ng ganitong disaster bago po tayo magpa-call po ng investigative committee. But again, it's of course in aid of legislation, and I would just like to add lang po sana ang mga the following committees po na kung po pwede po maisama sila bilang part po ng investigative committee other than the Committee of Disaster Risk and Disaster Risk, yung committee ng Public Order and Safety. I would like to include also the Committee on Trade and Commerce for ease of doing business, and the Committee on City Planning, Building and Zoning for any exception that will be done with this such business. And for the record din po, tama po si Councilor Rico na we are given one year to comply with all the necessary requirements. In fact, for renewal na po talaga sila, and doon po sa kanilang listahan ng hindi po na-comply, isa po dito ay ang hindi pag-secure po ng building permit mula po sa Department of Building Officials, hindi po pagkuha din po ng compliance po sa Bureau of Fire and Protection. At bagamat ayon po sa kanilang sinumite ay nag-comply naman po sila patungkol po sa barangay resolution o barangay clearance mula po sa barangay Tandang Sora na meron pong date na March 1, 2022. So, gusto ko lang po din sabihin po sa kalamanan ng karamihan dito na isa po sa yung home industry na allowable po sa zone po ng R1 to R3. In fact, ang kailangan po dito ay dapat po meron lang kayong 5 person below na empleyado. Dito po sa kanila in-apply ay kita-kita po na zero po ang empleyado po nila, na nireport po nila. Kaya po, hindi po natin sila pwedeng sabihin na sila po ay nasa factory o manufacturing dahil po sa kanilang sinubinde ng mga dokumento. So, Mr. Presiding Officer, this is also a step for also our committee on city planning, building and zoning na maging vigilant po tayo sa lahat po na sinusumite ng mga dokumento ng mga nag-a-apply po for certificate of exemption. And kamakailan po may na-approvehan po kami an exception when regards to high-risk industrial zone. At nakarecord naman po ito sa ating committee na binibigyan lang po natin sila ng isang more than 2 years na either they move out or they comply with the necessary zone. So hence, yung binigay po natin certificate of exemption ay pwede po natin i-revoke anytime that we will amend the zoning ordinance. So yun lang po, Mr. Presiding Officer, sana po maisama po ang mga komite ng aking nabanggit at sana po maimbitahan po ang mga sumusunod ng mga departamento, ang building officials, ang barangay Tandang Sora, ang kasama po kasi sa kanilang kailangan comply ang Department of Sanitation and Task Force Disciplina. At syempre po ang business Permit and Licensing Department at Zoning Administration Unit. Yun lamang po, Mr. Presiding Officer. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, Councilor Irene Belmonte, for everything that you pointed out.
Mr. Presiding Officer.
Councilor Torre de Bender.
Yes. Kaisa po ako ni Councilor Vic Bernardo and Councilor Banjo Pilar sa kanilang panawagan